guys, welcome to another Ark Taming series video. This one is by far one of the coolest creatures I have ever seen, and one of the coolest taming mechanics that I have ever seen also. We will be trying to tame the Magnapaulia, the brand new creature from the Ark Additional Creatures 2 Wild Ark mod. This is the first taming video I have ever done, starting in my artifact room. Well, right next to my artifact room, to be fair. But this is where I keep my extra artifacts. Obviously, we're not doing too well. But in order to tame this creature, this is where you have to start. You need 3 random artifacts. It does not matter which 3. It could be all 3. Well, I guess it can't be 3 of the same because you can't hold more than one in your inventory. So it has to be 3 different artifacts. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab 3 artifacts. I'm going to show you how to tame this creature. We're going to grab one of these. We're going to grab one of these. And one of these as well. Okay? So once we have 3 artifacts in our inventory, we can now craft an item called it's, I think I'm under 95, yes. It's called a Worthy Challenge, and it is unlockable at level 95. Once you have unlocked it, then you go into your inventory. So that means you have to be level 95 to even attempt to tame this creature. But once you are level 95, you will come into your own inventory, type in Worthy, and then you should have the ability to craft the Worthy Challenge, okay? Once you do so, do not worry. It does not spoil. You can keep it forever, from what I can tell. And once you have one, then you have to have the correct creature to tame the Magnapaulia. Now, I have tested this on stegos, and now I will be using a Therizino. And the reason for that is because my boss fighter Therizinos are herbivores, and they are faster than the Stegosaurus. Okay, that's the thing. Now, Stegosaurus obviously have better damage resistance. So if you want to try to do it with a stego, I have successfully done it with a stego. But I personally think it's going to be easier with the Therizinosaur. Very quickly, I'm going to go ahead and heal him all the way up. And don't go anywhere. I will be right back once he is healed. Alright, so we are back. I've got him healed up. And so now what we have to do is, it's getting nighttime, unfortunately. But we're going to try to do this even though it's getting to be nighttime. We're going to go ahead and go looking for the Magnapaulia of my dreams. And so I'm going to go ahead and cryo him up. And then we're going to fast forward until I have found the dino that we are looking for this video. So don't go anywhere, and yeah. Alright guys, so we have one right over here. It's a fairly good level. It's 156. And first things first, we want to try to clear the area of as many carnivores as we possibly can. Because the carnivores are going to be our issue, okay? So we're going to try to kill them off. And hopefully it won't die while I'm doing this, okay? Alright, so there we go. And now we're just going to try to walk over there. He is right over there. So essentially, the first thing we want to do is we want to take our Worthy Challenge and put it into our inventory. Now, this Worthy Challenge will not be able to be consumed by the creature unless it is an omnivore or a herbivore. It will not work on a player or a carnivore, okay? Very important. So what you want to do is you want to get close to the creature. Right, let me kill this bacterium. Hopefully that one will not bother me. Alright, so once we are close, we want to go into our inventory of the creature that we are riding. And the worthy challenge is a consumable item by the creature. So you're going to right-click it, or you just go over to it and click and hit E. But right-click and then left-click consume. And you'll see a 5-minute timer or 500-second timer in your upper right. Once you get close to it, it will say challenge. And now you can start damaging it, okay? Now I have a very powerful Therizino. I use these for bosses. Essentially what you're going to do is get this creature down to 25% health, and it will immediately get knocked out. Another thing you will notice is if you try to dismount, it will immediately stop the challenge. Also, if you try to shoot it or something like that, it will also not take hardly any damage. The only creature that will be able to damage it a lot is the one that is challenging it. And that is my Therizino. So we're going to go ahead and hit it one more time. And it will knock out. As soon as it knocks out, you have 300 seconds to defend the creature from any carnivores that it will pheromone in. So this is exactly like an ammonite pheromone. When you knock it out, all carnivores that are close by will come to attack it. Okay? So you want to make sure that you are here to protect it. Clearly, it's not a very big circle for the pheromone, because that terror bird is not interested, okay? So just keep your eyes open for this. And eventually what's going to happen is, after 300 seconds of you defending it, which by the way is 5 minutes IRL time, it will wake up, and then you can start passively feeding it. And that will tame it. It wants to eat superior kibble and base veggies, which is essentially any vegetable. Alright? Those are the two that you want to use. While it is asleep, I will tell you a little bit more about the creature. I really wish it wasn't thundering in the game. So the spawn area for this creature is in the Redwoods, the Grassland, Gen 2 Grassland, the Genesis 2 Forests, Genesis 2 Hard Forests, and Gen 1 Volcano, which is the X variant, and the Sunken Forest, which is on extinction. So you can see the terror bird was coming over, although he did not seem very interested in my creature. So maybe the pheromone does not work. I don't know. All I know is it takes 5 minutes for this creature to wake up. So anyway, this is the dossier. Among the many types of powerful or dangerous herbivores on the island, the common person may not expect a hadrosaur to be one of them. Yet Magnapaulia demonstrates the true threat of the colossal hadrosaurs that were its ancestors, and then some. Magnapaulia is an untrusting and violent herbivore that often attacks other carnivores on sight, both out of aggression and similar desire to hunt for sport like Amargasaurus. Similarly to Amargasauruses, Magnapaulia are very aggressive towards survivors and their carnivorous mounts, charging them from a distance. Herbivorous mounts can get closer but will still be attacked when too close. When in combat, the Magnapaulia prefers to unleash a series of quick jabs into the target, building up momentum and a desire for battle. When that reaches a fever pitch, it unleashes that energy in a potent, booming roar, rallying itself and nearby allies considerably and increasing their health regen. As such, Magnapaulia is sought after for many war bands and armies alike, but the creature refuses knockout taming and passive taming. Some survivors, however, have found a way to prove themselves to Magnapaulia by defeating it in combat with a choice non-carnivorous mount and gaining a potent vanguard of a tame to assist their endeavors. So a couple of things. You're likely to have a creature that is not as powerful as my Therizino here. And if so, this creature will attack you. And it will also roar, and the roar has extreme knockback. It's crazy how far it knocks you back. And that's why I wanted a creature that was much faster than the stego I was taming them with earlier, okay? Once you get them down to a certain percentage of their health, they will start running away from you as well. Now, eventually, they will circle back towards you, but you have to have a creature fast enough to chase them down. You do not knock them out until they're about 25% health, okay? Now, this creature, when it's tame, is immune to knockback, and it ignores 5% of incoming damage. A little bit about the taming stuff that I did not mention out. Again, it costs 3 artifacts to craft the worthy challenge consumable item. Again, that buff will not work on a carnivore, a player, or a flyer. It only works on herbivores and omnivores. So it will not work on any herbivorous flyer either. So keep that in mind. When the buff is on, okay, so now you can see it has just woken up. So I'm going to unpause or unmute the sound in the game. Once it's like this, you can hop off and passively tame it. Okay, just like that. Now for this feature, or this part of the taming, I have a binturong on my shoulder to increase its food drain. Because it will take 10% of its food before you can feed it a second time. So this one has 11,100 food, which means it has to decrease or drop 1,111 of its food value before I can feed it a second time. Now my taming rates on this server are 2.5 times. And again, as you can see with the popcorn scent debuff or buff, that is draining its food faster because of the binturong on my shoulder. The binturong is also available in this mod, and I have a video for the binturong too if you have not seen it. You can just type in Boston Chris binturong and you will find that. And it's also in my Ark Taming series playlist. So again, now it's just a normal passive tame. That's all it is now. Unfortunately, the best way to tame this creature that I have found is in just wherever you find it, and you just have to keep the area safe. Obviously, we are in the redwoods, so there's a lot of foliage here, so we have to keep our eyes open. Having a teammate to look out for you is beneficial to this as well. But if you are solo, you just have to kind of keep an eye on your surroundings as best you can. Don't do what I'm doing right now. Alright? And you'll also notice that it has a defeated in combat debuff, which is actually increasing its heal. It's increasing its healing rate, and you can see that indicator around its head right there. It's like a healing buff indicator around its head. And that should help you keep it alive while you're taming it as well. So it's already gained 600 health since it woke up while we've been taming it. Now, obviously, the taming process goes much quicker after you feed it the first time. So it takes the drain of the food a lot longer from the first time than the second time. Because the food value you're giving it with the superior kibble is only about 200 food value. And so 10% of the food value is about 1,100. So that's why it takes a lot less time in between feedings after the first feeding. So this is all you do, and you notice that all the other herbivorous creatures are leaving it alone. They're not interested in it. Now, if there were carnivores nearby, though, forget about it. Like, they would be all over this guy. So, just keep that in mind. Obviously, you want kibble for this creature. If you're level 95 anyway, you should have plenty of kibble. You cannot tame this lower than level 95. So, like, vegetables would obviously take forever to tame this creature, okay? So make sure you're using kibble. Because you're going to lose so much effectiveness on anything other than kibble. We should have one more feeding, and then we'll take it back to the base. And I'll show you how to get the saddle. And then I will show you what this creature does as well. Alright, so there is our Magnapaulia, level 233. We're going to cryo him up. We'll take him back to the base. And let's talk about the saddle. Alright, so we're back at the pyramid. The saddle is also unlocked at level 95. Right here. It does not take any Ingram points, and it costs fiber, hide, and metal ingot to craft it. Just like every other saddle in this mod, you craft it on your own person. Let's type it in. And I have S+, so I can just pull. Okay, so we got the saddle. And now we're going to uncryo the creature again, and we will talk about what it does. So there is the Magnapaulia. Take him up here and take a little bit of a picture of him. Let's see. So that is the C key, which is an aesthetic roar. Let's see if I can't do this. There we go. Alright, let's come out of K mode. I've already read the dossier to you guys, and a little bit more about the taming so that you guys understand. Let's see if there's anything I didn't talk about in here. So during the challenge state of the taming process, the Magnapaulia will deal 3.5 times its normal damage, which makes it very, very strong. It will also only take 1 to 5% of incoming damage from any source that is not the challenger. So the creature you are on can deal more damage than anything else. It's only going to take 1% of its normal damage intake from anything other than the challenger. The challenger will deal 75% of their usual damage to the Magnapaulia when it's in the challenged state. Okay? Once you drop the Magnapaulia to 25% HP, it will land a knockout blow. And let's see, once it's KO'd, you protect the Magnapaulia for 300 seconds. It will grant itself a buff similar to Ammonite's pheromones on KO to lure nearby carnivores. Once the 300 seconds are over, Magnapaulia will wake back up. Okay? And you got to be sure that you're within 2,500 units of the Magnapaulia when it gets up, because if you aren't, then you will not get the neutrality that it takes for you to approach the Magnapaulia. All right? Very important. Let's see. After getting back up, the Magnapaulia will regen 2.5 HP per second, and it takes 25 less damage as it heals, and will heal itself with its roar from time to time if its health is below 95%. Alright? So, there's that. Now, another cool thing, if you're not familiar with a lot of these creatures from this mod, is they have a sit-down thing on their radial wheel. And when they are seated, you will notice they get a sit buff, and that sit buff increases their HP regen. Okay, what's up, Lucky? Welcome in, brother. Now, their left click is a basic herbivore damage type. It does 35% damage, base damage. And it's really not that impressive. I don't want to bite anything with it quite yet, but it's just that. That's the left click right there. The space bar is a counting coop. You hold space bar. Okay, so I don't know what that did. Let me see here. I can't see because I have to level up. All right. Let's get through the animation here. All right, let's do that. Okay, it says jabbing. So basically I have to hold it. It says hold spacebar to enter a jabbing state. And each jab deals 58 base damage. While jabbing, you cannot run and your stamina is steadily drained. You can keep jabbing without stamina, but you cannot start jabbing with insufficient stamina. Let go of the spacebar to stop jabbing, which will prompt a roughly 2.5 second cooldown before you can begin jabbing again. This is a generic large carnivore damage type, allowing Magnapaulia to harvest corpses. Each jab also does decent knockback. Each jab builds up its meter by 0.02 per valid hit on a live target. Build up your meter to full using this attack. Meter drains by 0.05 per 10 seconds without a valid hit unless at full. Alright, so let's hold our space bar. That is insane, bro. So it's essentially like punching. That is pretty cool. I'm gonna go do that on a Bronto. So all you have to do is hold spacebar to do that effect. Go up to something to hold spacebar, and it's just gonna start punching, bro. That is pretty cool. Now, once you let go of the space bar, there is a cooldown on it, so just keep that in mind. That's a pretty cool attack. And now the Bronto's just going to come after me. Alright, again, the C key is an aesthetic roar. And the left control key, I guess that doesn't work unless I'm hurt. Once your meter is full. Let me see what that means. I don't know what meter it's talking about here. I'm not seeing a meter. It says once your meter is full, press left control or alt fire to reset the meter and activate a buffing roar at a cost of 100 stamina. The attack itself has no cooldown, so prioritizing building up your meter as fast as possible to continue your buff's uptime. Upon activating the roar, deal knockback damage to nearby foes, pushing them away while applying a buff to allies and allied tribes. With 6150 units of yourself, or within 6150 units of yourself. Roughly a Yudi's effective range, okay? But in every direction. The buff recovers 15% of max HP of the target to a maximum of 10,000 HP healed per application, while also recovering stamina by 50 per second and draining torpor by 100 per second over a period of 40 seconds. I just don't understand what it means by a meter. Each jab builds up its meter by 0.02 per valid hit on a live target. Build up your meter to full using this attack. Meter drains by 0.05 per 10 seconds without a valid hit, unless at full. So where is the meter that I'm looking for? Is it the red thing on the right? It's got to be the red thing on right. Kind of like the other creature, the Arion. See the meter. Yeah, I don't see anything building like. Huh. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not understanding what it means by meter. Maybe somebody out there has one of these guys and knows how to where the indicator is for that. The bloodlust meter is definitely not the one. It's not moving at all when I punch it in. Okay, so it must be full now. It must be full now because it says rally ready. All right, so once it's rally ready, hold on. Hopefully it doesn't go away. It probably will though. Now that I'm not ready for it. All right, so left control. Oh, okay, okay. So 15% to a max of so. All right, cool. So that's like a 40-second buff. All right, so there's not a visible meter. You just have to keep punching until it shows up in your upper right. Just remember to keep your spacebar held in because once you let it go, there's a 2.5 second cooldown. That's also what allows it to harvest corpses as well. So again, just a reiteration on the left control healing boon roar. Once your rally meter is full, you can press left control to reset the meter and activate a buffing roar at a cost of 100 stamina, which we just did. And the attack itself has no cooldown. So prioritizing building up your meter as fast as possible to continue your buff's uptime. Upon activating the roar, you will deal knockback damage to nearby foes, pushing them away while applying a buff to allies within 6150 units of yourself. Again, roughly a UD's effective range. This buff will recover 15% of your max HP, while also recovering stamina by 50 per second and draining torpor by 100 per second over a period of 40 seconds. So yeah, that's really cool. The Magnapaulia. I'm curious if these guys will go into boss fights. I will definitely start maybe breeding some up and seeing if we can or not. I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe we'll do a boss fight and just pull one in with us and see if it will come in. But yeah, that is really cool looking creature as well. It's got like the almost like a helmet, you know. Like, I'm not even sure. A sail, I guess, is what those would be called. Yeah, that's pretty dope looking. Another amazing creature from the Additional Creatures 2 Wild Ark mod. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, show it some love by hitting the like button. You can, of course, subscribe for more awesome content here on the channel. And, yeah, I will catch y'all down the road.